Palmer and Morris Orange City have already been crowned champions in the 1988 Boys State Basketball Tournament. Now it is the time for the 2A and 3A championships. Perry and St. Albert getting ready to square off in 2A, and Cedar Rapids, Kennedy, and Fort Dodge in 3A. I'm Larry Morgan, set to call the play-by-play. Glad to have Gary Thompson joining us for his color commentary, and John Campbell will be our sideline reporter. And Gary, in this first game tonight, the 2A championship matchup, Perry and St. Albert represent a real contrast in experience.
Well, they do. Of course, Perry was here at the tournament last year. They have 3 starters returning. That's always a factor, and I think it showed in the first round game against Western Christian. They were down. They came back strong. St. Albert has 9 juniors on this club. They may start a little nervous.
Let's take a look at some of the outstanding individuals in the game. First of all, when you're talking about the guy who really has done a lot for St. Albert this year, you have to look at Brian Radigan, who hadn't been a starter, but because of an injury will be a starter tonight.
Well, he's done an excellent job coming off the bench, made his first start in the semifinal, a strong rebounder, and is also scoring, I think, 24 points in the tournament.
And so he has been very effective in a relief role, and he really had to be. Now for Perry, they have a guy who was all-tournament last year, really makes him go, talking about Brad Strachey.
Well, that's right, and you never have good teams without a good guard, I always say. You have to have somebody to run the club. He did a good job against Western Christian, breaking down pressure, and that's going to be the key to his job tonight, is handling their pressure.
So it should be a most interesting matchup as Perry and St. Albert prepare to go at it. And as Gary mentioned, Perry, the experience, certainly both teams come in with outstanding records, just 3 losses between them, so we know that they are very talented squads.
Well, both clubs, when you get this far in this tournament, it is a pressure game, so we'll see who can handle the pressure the best.
And then coming up following that, it'll be the 3A championship. We'll be on the line for both of them, and we'll be back with the starting lineups right after this.
This is a law office. It's where doctors examine records, bankers meet clients, and accountants study figures. It could be your office because it was designed by Barrett and Gwill for comfort, efficiency, and a hard day's work, no matter what business you're in. That's Barrett and Gwill, custom designing offices for the executive and helping those who want to get there.
Council Bluffs Mad Hatter Muffler presents The Cure. A man with a mission, a man with a message. Alone, he rambles, muffler, brakes, and shocks in hand, searching for the sound that triggers trouble, terror, and torment. Your muffler or brakes diseased? Council Bluffs Mad Hatter can cure it. Mad Hatter Mufflers, Brakes, and Shocks, the cure for your car's disease.
It could have been you. We could have won too. We played for the fight. Together we won. We were in the mood. You're the one I lean on. Can change all your lives. It could have been you. Now we're playing too. Make it be you.
The Blue Jays finished 4th in this tournament last year, losing to Cedar Rapids Regis in the semifinals and then to Audubon in the consolation. They come in with a 13-game winning streak in that 22-2 record. St. Albert 24-1, their only loss in the 6th game of the year to Carroll Kemper. Now let's meet the lineups, and here is public address announcer Don Euchre.
For Class 2A. On the scoreboard, the visitors from Council Bluffs, St. Albert, the Falcons. The home team on the scoreboard from Perry, the Blue Jays. And now, let's meet the reserves for the Falcons. Number 55. Chris Hannafin. Number 23, Mike Honecker. Number 25, Doug Rue. Number 31, Chad Cabarrus. Number 15, Tony Cruz. Number 21, Dale Scott. Number 35, Andy Gobranson. Number 43, Matt Witzke. And the assistant coach of the Falcons, Dick Wettengel. And now the reserves for the Blue Jays. Number 32, Frank Howell. Number 34, Mark Drazy. Number 50, Matt Fagan. Number 52, Joe Long. Number 10, Eric Turkleson. Number 12, Matt Spellman. Number 20, Jeff Seaman. Number 22, Troy Sines. Number 24, Florian Schmidt. Number 42, Doug Becker. And the assistant coach, Mike Jorgensen. And now, here are your starters. For the Falcons, at forward, wearing number 45, a 6'4" junior, Brian Radigan. At forward for the Blue Jays, wearing number 40, a 6'4" senior, John Palin. At forward for the Falcons, a 6'3" junior, wearing number 53, Trent Holmberg. Forward for the Blue Jays, wearing number 44, a 6'2" senior, Mike Drazy. At center for the Falcons, wearing number 33, a 6'2" junior, Nate Schnitker. At center for the Blue Jays, a 6'5" senior, wearing number 54, Matt McKnight. Guard for the Falcons, a 6' junior, wearing number 13, Brian O'Connor. At guard for the Blue Jays, wearing number 14, a 5'11" senior, Todd Winter. At guard for the Falcons, wearing number 11, a 6' senior, Aaron Walter. Guard for the Blue Jays, wearing number 30, a 5'11" senior, Brad Strachey. The head coach for the Council Bluffs St. Albert Falcons, Mike Kavaretz. The head coach for the Perry Blue Jays, Tom Schleicher. The officials for tonight's ball game, your referee, Gary Christensen of Mason City. The umpire is Craig Snyder of Osage. And the bench official, Bob Oldus of Iowa City. And now, please join me in standing as our nation's colors are presented by the East High Color Guard of Des Moines, directed by Jay Nugent and Kent Keating, the state championship guard for 1988.
moments away from the tip-off in the 2A championship game. Gary, St. Albert really prides themselves on defense. They're giving up just 49 points a game. Nobody in the tournament of all 32 teams that got here have a better defensive average, and St. Albert got to the tournament by holding their opponents to some pretty low scores.
Well, defense is always the key to good ball clubs, I think. And I know this is a club that presses. They play a lot of players. They play 8, 9 kids. That keeps them fresh, and so they're able to sustain that defensive pressure throughout the ball game.
And as far as the Perry Blue Jays and how they got to state, started off with a close game in Sub-State and have had 2 close games since.
Well, they're a team that has a lot of offense, and they can counter it. And if they can come down and break the press, and a team like that can score, they can break it and score some easy baskets on the tail end of the press.
We alluded to that defensive average. That's really a big story for St. Albert, giving up just 50 points a ball game. On the other hand, Perry scores 80. So it should be a most interesting contrast as Perry and St. Albert get ready to meet in state tournament play. We mentioned Perry, their second state tournament. They finished 4th here last year for St. Albert. This is their 3rd visit to state. They won it in 1975. They lost in the first round in 1979 to the eventual champ, Cedar Rapids Regis. So both teams going for their first state basketball title. And opening with the ball will be the Falcons. At the point is Brian O'Connor. Number 11 is Aaron Walter. And they will look to get it inside as much as possible. That's where the real strength lies. Nate Snitker travels, and so the turnover gives Perry the first opportunity to score.
Well, maybe that's the thing we're talking about, is about the inexperience and maybe a little uncertainty and a little nervousness, and right away St. Albert has a travel call.
Well, it has to have helped the Blue Jays to have played on this floor several times last year. Now for Perry, keep an eye on number 54, Matt McKnight in the middle. He has had an excellent tournament, banging it home from outside. To start things off for Perry, Brad Strachey, an excellent three-point shooter all tournament last year, and he starts this ball game with a 3.
That could be a real key for Perry tonight because he has not shot the ball well in the tournament, only 9 for 28, and if they're going to drop inside against McKnight, he's going to have to hit from outside.
Stepping up, O'Connor to take the shot, trying his own follow shot. And so Brian O'Connor misses his first one, hits his next one, and it's a 3-2 lead for the Blue Jays.
Have to block out the shooters.
Strachey does a good job getting it inside to John Palin. He's been quite a scoring threat in the tournament. And McKnight is called on the push-off inside. Matt McKnight picks up the game's first foul.
5-4. Here we look at the action coming down inside. Goes up and see McKnight, Palin, first of all with that ball coming off with the missed shot. And then you see McKnight just with a reach over the back.
And so number 13, Brian O'Connor, and number 11, Aaron Walter, will bring it out of the backcourt against some three-quarter court pressure. Back there to help out is Schnitker, and he breaks the press. A minute and 15 seconds have been played. The Perry lead is 1, out of bounds, deflected by Perry, and so it will be Rockland basketball.
Easy now, easy.
Mike Tavares.
Right there now.
In his 12th year coaching St. Albert, his teams have won 177 and lost 80.
Brought this team to the state meet in 1979.
The shot is long by Schnitker. And coming down with the rebound, the Blue Jays. Now keep an eye on Strachey. He's already hit one from there. Claiming the rebound is Brian Radigan. And the pull-up by O'Connor, and he has got all the points for St. Albert. That gives them the lead at 4-3. At the start of the ball game, Gary, we talked about Brad Strachey and Brian Radigan. They're distantly related. Their parents are first cousins. On the drive, the foul is called on Aaron Walter. It'll be his first, and the team fouls are even at 1.
You've got a family battle, that as you look at the head coach for Perry, Tom Schleicher.
Schleicher in his 10th year as a head coach overall. He's in his 6th year at Perry. Directed them to the state tournament back-to-back. Here's Strachey at the line where he is a 73% free throw shooter. Now you talk about state tournament experience. Strachey has played on 5 teams in state tournament experience. Golf, football, baseball, and of course a couple of basketball teams. And the score is tied at 4. Walter finds Schnitker. And with the rebound is Palin. Early, Perry doing an outstanding job on the boards. No surprise, though, their rebound margin is 12 over the opposition.
I thought that had to be a mistake when I was reading on the rebound margin. That's a huge margin.
Matt McKnight has had an excellent tournament, scoring 53 points in the first 2 ball games for Perry. gets his first basket down in this one, and it's the Blue Jays by 2.
Those 53 points by McKnight are good for number 1 in the tournament scoring derby so far.
Walter to the lane, and coming up with a loose basketball for the Blue Jays, Mike Drazy. Winter brings it ahead. He's a transfer from Panora Linden. McKnight for 2 in a row. On the rim, but not quite. And with the rebound is Brian Radigan. Radigan, good rebounder, averages 6 a game. That is best on St. Albert's squad. Schnitker looks for help. Number 53 is Trent Holmberg. Holmberg averages 11 points a game.
This club really without a true center.
Basically 3 guards, 2 forwards. And different people will play the post. Radigan backing in there now. He's got the ball. And pulling it down is Matt McKnight. And the thing that has been impressive about Perry early has been their rebounding. St. Albert getting only 1 shot at the basket. The pull-up by Drazy. And the ball will go to the Falcons from St. Albert at Council Bluffs.
Let us make a statement here that Mike Drazy replaced Frank Howell, who sprained an ankle, I understand, in that first game. Did a good job. In his next ball game, he had 2 out of 3, 4 points and 5 rebounds. That's a good job as a replacement.
And the shot is put home by Aaron Walter. Howell, by the way, you mentioned the bad ankle, is expected to see some action. Chris Hannafin for St. Albert also out with an injury, and they're not sure whether he can play tonight. The last report was they thought, yes, they could use him. He'd been a starter most of the year. In fact, he is the leading scorer on the season for St. Albert, so they would love to get him into the ballgame, especially against a physical player like Matt McKnight.
It's got to be disappointing. Come all the way, get in the state tournament, just what you dreamed for as a kid in Iowa, and then come up injured and can't play.
Strachey with the air ball, Schnitker with the rebound, and the Falcons try to break the scoring deadlock, which is now at 6.
I know Strachey can shoot it from a long ways, but that is really out of range.
Schnitker having a tough time early, and again, just 1 shot for St. Albert, and again, McKnight with a rebound. In deep, the ball laid in by John Palin. Palin with 36 points thus far in the tournament, 10 against Hull Western Christian, 17 against Washington. Also has 10 rebounds in each of the 2 games, so he's been a big factor already tonight at the offensive end and certainly with his rebounding as Holmberg puts the shot in for St. Albert.
Well, that's what hurts most when you go down on a fast break, get a quick 2, and the other team turns right around, comes back, puts 2 on the board right on top of it.
So the ball game knotted up several times early at 4, 6, and now at 8. In the lane, Palin is shoved from behind by O'Connor. That is the first foul called on O'Connor. It's the second called against St. Albert.
Watch the drive in here and a good dish off. You see Palin come in, beats his man, does a good job of coming to the ball. Might have prevented an interception as O'Connor picks up the foul.
And a couple of changes into the lineup for
You're doing a good job, all right?
St. Albert as the Falcons have pretty good depth, and they will send number 31, Chad Kavaris, into the lineup. He, of course, the son of the head coach, Mike Kavaris. The shot is put up by McKnight, and Matt McKnight has been impressive at both ends of the floor, rebounding on one end, shooting on the other.
He's having a great tournament. He's the 3rd leading scorer on this club, but in the tournaments we mentioned, he's the number 1 scorer.
The other substitute is number 55, Chris Hannafin. He had the ball for a moment. That is Kavaris. And coming down with the rebound is John Palin. 55, Hannafin in the lineup for St. Albert, and he was doubtful because of the ankle, but they're glad getting him to play early. Todd Winter hits the layup for Perry, and the Blue Jays go up by 4.
Perry, a transition team. They score a lot of points. They've got a couple now. Easy ones off the break.
In the lane, trying to go to the hole is Hannafin. And he is fouled by Todd Winter. That's the second foul called against Perry. Coach Mike Kavaris said if there was a way Hannafin would play, could play, he would, and he there tries to make a move.
All right, a good bounce pass into the post, cleared it out for him very good, but then the reach and grab by Winter.
Hannafin hurt in the district final, re-injured that ankle yesterday. That is Hannafin with the ball.
Got a lane.
St. Albert being patient. That's basically what they try to do. We're down to the 2:05 mark in the quarter. From 3, O'Connor leaves it short, and it's another rebound from Matt McKnight. He comes in averaging 9.6, has 4 or 5 already.
Showed me good hands on that play. Ball got loose, was reached out strong, and sucked it back in.
And Hannafin with the foul as McKnight went for his 3rd basket. Matt McKnight will go to the line.
There's Here's the big guy coming in, McKnight. Good job, aggressive to the board. But Hannafin, number 55, comes from behind. Should have turned him loose, taking a chance on missing that easy basket. Here's a surprise, maybe.
First change for Perry as Frank Howell, who hurt the ankle late in the ball game against Hull Western Christian and did not play in the semifinal against Washington, comes into the lineup. He had been a starter, Howell averaging 7.1. So both players that are doubtful are in, but of course, lots of time to rest after tonight.
Saw the game, Frank Howell in the first one against Western Christian. I thought had a heck of a game. He's 3 out of 5 from the field, 4 out of 5 free throw, 10 points.
McKnight misfires on both. He has struggled at the line this year. That's about the only place he has.
But you know, again in the Western Christian game, he had 6 out of 9, and most of those coming in a clutch time when they were trying to preserve a lead.
Radigan. And trying to keep it alive, Radigan, but coming up with it is McKnight. Perry leading by 4. 1:30 left to play in the first quarter of the 2A championship game at Betts Auditorium. Here is Strachey, a clear out on the right side for him. And coming up with the rebound is Radigan. On the outlet is Chad Kavares. Kavares, a junior, 6'1", 165-pounder, good three-point shooter.
Well, we might look at that three-point shooting. Larry, Perry puts up 255 shots coming into the tournament. St. Albert only 127.
Well, that becomes a factor late in the ball game if someone tries to play catch-up. Kavares hits a three. That is his 4th three-pointer of the tournament, and it's a 1-point lead by Perry with 50 seconds to go in the quarter.
We had 3 of those the other night coming off the bench.
Nice spin move, but the shot would not go down by John Palin. However, St. Albert will get another chance. That is Tom Schleicher, the head coach at Perry, native of Austin, Minnesota, 41 years old. Played football at Wartburg College. The basket will count, a chance at a three-point play for John Palin, who comes in averaging 23 points a game, and that time he made a strong move in the lane.
Well, we'll see him make a good head and shoulder fake here. Goes up, catches the ball well, pumps it up, gets Radigan up, and as he comes into him, smart enough to take the ball up to the basket, has the strength right there to get the ball in for 2, and he'll go to the line for a three-point play.
First foul for Radigan. Trent Holmberg back into the lineup for St. Albert. As trying to complete the three-point play, John Palin. He is a 70% shooter from the floor. He averages 10 rebounds a game. So he has had an outstanding senior year and an outstanding tournament with 20 rebounds in the first 2 games.
While he's a leading scorer, he's kind of a quiet type scorer. He gets it inside, he's strong, and you don't notice his scoring like you will Strachey, who hits him from long range. Oh, what a shot.
All the way down the lane is Doug Rue, who just came into the lineup. He hits a big layup.
Good pressure.
And it's a 2-point lead for the Blue Jays. This is Strachey.
Setting what looks like a 1-2-2.
I would imagine that the ball will either be in Strachey's hands or McKnight's hands for the last shot of the quarter. There is McKnight with it. The follow shot put through by Palin. A 7-point first quarter for Palin, and the first quarter has come to an end. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Perry 17, St. Albert of Council Bluffs 13. We'll be back after this word from your local station.
For generations, going to Krispy Kreme has been a Council Bluffs family tradition. Mouth-watering hamburgers, thick shakes and malts in over a dozen flavors, the Banana Mountain, the Emerald Isle Parfait, legendary French fries, soft-serve sherbet, and personal service have been Krispy Kreme trademarks for over 30 years. Everything we serve is made to order in just minutes. For a quick and delicious meal or our famous soft-serve treats, call Krispy Kreme, a Council Bluffs tradition you can always come home to.
Planning a business seminar, convention, or wedding reception? The Best Western Frontier has it all with the most modern facility in the metro. Best Western offers a fabulous 4,500 square foot ballroom with room for 500, state-of-the-art sound system, and delicious menu planning personally prepared by one of the area's leading chefs. Best Western truly has it all for any event, and it's easy to find on I-80 and South 24th Street next to Bluffs Run. Call 322-3150 for price and date information.
Do you find yourself spending more and more money each year on doctors, hospitals, and prescriptions? Chiropractic healthcare is a less expensive, safer, more natural approach to a healthier you. At the office of Dr. Willis J. Castor, you can find out how maintaining the alignment of the spine will allow your body's natural healing powers to function fully. Call 322-8241 today for a free consultation. The new Castor Chiropractic Center at 2227 West Broadway, 322-8241. You'll never know how good you can feel till you start feeling good.
Back at Veterans Auditorium through one quarter, John Palin's been outstanding, Gary, 7 points.
Well, a good follow-up there. What keyed that was a good lob pass over the top of the defense, even though they didn't get the initial basket.
Both teams shooting not overly well, below 50%. St. Albert at 43% and Perry at 47% through one quarter.
Well, and both teams 50% or better shooters on the year, but again, you expect it. Here's the state championship game. Maybe to start out a little tight, things should loosen up.
Frank Howell inbounding for Perry, and the second quarter is underway. Number 14 is Todd Winter. Winter averages 6 points a game. He got 2 in the first quarter. Here's Strachey. Strachey, nice dump off to Palin inside, and Palin still has the hot hand. He has 9 points now for the Blue Jays.
If you're covering people away from Strachey when he drives, you do not want to turn your head and start going to the basket when he goes up. He's great at dropping the ball off.
Schnitker. And now the steal, and coming up with it is Todd Winter. Pushing it ahead is Strachey. Thus far, Strachey has done a better job getting the ball inside, has only taken 3 shots that I recall, and that one from the baseline, his second bucket. And right away, St. Albert will call a timeout because the Blue Jays have opened up the second quarter with the hot hand. The score now, Perry 21, St. Albert 13, the biggest lead so far for the Blue Jays. Now this word from your local station.
If you've toyed with the idea of adding a sleek pickup cover, Leach Camper Sales has what you're looking for. With our huge selection, free installation, and fiberglass toppers starting at only $449, Leach Camper Sales has the best value for your dollar, including special custom orders by request on name brands like Lear and Flightway. This winter, protect your valuables in style or add on to that new 88 with a quality topper. Leach Camper Sales, the comfort of the great outdoors, for pickups too.
High school seniors come in all shapes and sizes, and they all have dreams for the future. Dreams that include college. State Bank and Trust can help make those dreams come true with low-interest student loans. You don't even have to come in to apply. Just call and we'll mail you an application. State Bank and Trust. No matter which college you choose, we want you to wear our jacket. Call 323-7521. State Bank and Trust, your student loan center.
Back on this play on this basket just moments before the timeout. Good lead pass down here. Kick back Strachey, who has free reign to put it up anywhere, steps inside the three-point line, gets it up, nets it for an 8-point lead for Perry.
Of course, Gary, at its most simplistic form, I guess, the best offense is an outside threat and inside threat, and certainly with Strachey outside and with McKnight and Palin inside, Perry has had that.
They certainly do. McKnight 4 points and 4 rebounds in that first quarter.
The Blue Jays have hit 7 of their last 10 shots, have opened an 8-point lead. Therefore, Mike Kavares figuring he better call a timeout and settle his troops down. Rude trying to bring it out of the backcourt, and it will be St. Albert basketball from the sideline. First to change as a starter, Brian O'Connor comes back in at guard, and Doug Rue, the senior guard, will check out.
Easy.
Inbounding is Schnitker. St. Albert down by 8, their biggest deficit of the game, as they try to get it into the hands of a good three-point shooter in Schnitker. Coming up with the rebound to put it in is O'Connor underneath, and that's his third bucket.
Good grab on the offensive rebound. He had to reach way back for that thing.
And now the Blue Jays try to build on a 6-point lead. But a nice quick steal inside by Trent Holmberg.
I'm watching Howell, and I think it's evident that ankle bothers him. He does not have the movement. He's a very active player in the game that I saw earlier.
Schnitker dumps it off inside, trying to penetrate. Is Howell, in the traveling violation will give the basket, rather is Radigan, and the traveling basketball back to the Blue Jays of Perry. Perry with a 22-2 record coming in. There are only 2 losses this year to another one of the teams in the Final 8, St. Edmund. And out of the backcourt, O'Connor fouls for the second time.
And the Falcons now turned it over 4 times. His second. Watch here now, putting good pressure on, reaches across, and you see Brian O'Connor picking up his personal foul.
And Tom Schlichter has seen his team from Perry jump off to a lead as many as 8. Right now, Schleicher's team leading it by 6, but a chance to add to that. As at the line, Strachey, he's got 6 already, and now 7, including 2 out of 3 from the free throw line.
Don't blow him out there now, all right?
Strachey, 17 points against Hull Western Christian and 15 against Washington. But as you mentioned, Gary, he's not shooting very well thus far in the tournament.
He was 9 out of 28 coming into this championship game.
But so far, better than that tonight, and that's one of the keys for Perry and one of the reasons they've got the lead that they do. Now 23-15.
Got a lead.
The penetration by Walter. Nice pass inside. Good job to get the ball inside to Trent Holmberg. He's got his second hoop.
Playing Brad Strachey there. That's what we're talking about. Brad going in, getting up, dishing it off to a teammate.
But at the other end, Perry hurries, and McKnight banks in his third basket. Matt McKnight just having a super tournament, almost a shoo-in for the all-tournament team. With 53 points in 2 games coming in, and already has 6 in the first half tonight.
He'd almost have to break a leg right now, wouldn't he, not to make it?
Just about.
Big block by Palin.
Coming up with the block, John Palin. Bringing it ahead, Todd Winter. And nothing but cord from outside for John Palin, so inside or outside, he's hot.
Palin did a nice job. He looked the man off, like put his head down like he's going to drive. Defensive man backed off. He raised up, shot the jumper down.
Perry's biggest lead now, up by 10. A chance to make it more as Winter comes up with a steal. Perry has not missed a shot in the quarter. They have hit their first 4. And the foul is called on Schnitker.
And here comes Strachey. One of the things sometimes I think he handles the ball a little too much. To see the defensive man, Schnitker, moving on him, he does pick up the blocking foul, but he had a man open in the corner. If he delivers that ball, he'd create a situation for Perry.
Number 31, Chad Kavaris, a good three-point shooter, back into the lineup for St. Albert. Mike Kavaris, his dad, putting Chad in, trying to get some offense going for St. Albert. St. Albert is struggling at the offensive end of the floor right now. Strachey with his 9th point. After missing his first free throw, he has hit 4 in a row.
Well, Strachey's shot 44% from the field. I liken him to, again, you say right now, is not a great shooter, but he's a scorer. Somehow he manages to put points on the board every ball game, regardless of his shooting.
And from the top of Veterans Auditorium, that's the scene as Perry has opened a 12-point lead. The jump shot by Schnitker, the rebound by Radigan. And Brian Radigan, with good position, puts in his first bucket.
Good job by Perry that time, I think, of keeping their hands out of there, not making the foul. Oh, they got numbers, 3-on-1.
And pulling up is Kavaris, and he bangs home a 3.
I can't believe that. He got 3-on-1. I'm saying, what are you doing? I'm thinking, and he gets a three-pointer out of it.
You think his dad was saying, no, yes?
That might have been one of those kind of plays.
On the top of the circle, Strachey tries to answer with a 3. And the rebound is taken down by Radigan. This time a 3-on-2, but batting it away is Strachey.
That's the kind of thing that Strachey does for you. He doesn't always show up in the box score.
Quite a move by Strachey. And a player is down. First of all, for St. Albert, it's Brian O'Connor. Strachey has gotten up. O'Connor has not yet. Looked like he got a shot, perhaps in the head.
He's been the floor leader for this club, too, and he's in some pain. Watch Strachey down here. 5'10", but he's built very strong. Looks under right there, comes in. Well, we lose it.
Stay on the floor, men. Stay on the floor now. Stay on the floor.
Let's watch it right here. Here comes Strachey. There's O'Connor coming in. It looks like, did he get kicked as his leg went by?
Yeah, I think he did. Right. I think he did. Right in the face, it looks like. Right side of the face, perhaps. Maybe the midsection. And right now, Brian O'Connor, a 6-foot junior, averaging 5.6 per game, being attended to. Facing you there, kneeling down, that is Mike Kavaris. In his 12th year as the head coach at St. Albert. And so there's a timeout on the floor with 4:19 to go in the first half. The score is Perry 29, St. Albert 22. Now this word from your local station.
Here's a place with a taste that puts a smile on your face. It's called the Dairy Shop and serves the cream of the crop. A short trip in the car is all that it takes. For soft serve cones, sundaes, malts, and shakes. And for chicken in town, they serve the best around. It's the great taste place that puts a smile on your face. For a snack time stop, we'll see you soon at the Dairy Shop. The Dairy Shop, 4105 South 11th.
Sears can help you enjoy your outdoors more. Right now, save 30% on Sears fencing, like Armadillo Chain Link, strong and long-lasting Sears Armadillo fencing stays bright and shining you looking for years. Or add the elegant beauty of a Sears installed wood fence. Either way, you save a big 30%. So build your fence for beauty or build it for security. But build it now and save at Sears.
Larry Morgan along with Gary Thompson, and on the floor bringing interviews your way at halftime and between ball games, John Campbell of KCRG. Let's take a look at what's going on at Hilton Coliseum into the first 4 weights in the finals. There's the team countdown. Now, since 1974, Iowa or Iowa State, an Iowa team or UNI has won that national championship, but Arizona State looks like they may be tough to head.
Well, I was told they only had 1 wrestler in the final, but they won something like 9 places in the wrestlebacks for consolation.
O'Connor, the injured player, moved over to the bench for the time being.
Talk about the shooting. We said we thought it would probably heat up. Well, it has for Perry. 11 out of 21, 52.4%. Council Bluffs St. Albert's 10 out of 21. They're now at 47.6%.
Easy.
And Perry with the basketball with that lead. That's Strachey deep in the left corner. Strachey has suddenly got the hot hand. Inside to McKnight. His own rebound. It would be rare for McKnight to miss 2 in a row in the paint. Somehow you got the feeling that one would probably find the range.
Good jump hook. And again, they go to Howell, who is really hobbled by that ankle.
From the corner, it's Kavares. And for the most part, Perry has controlled the rebound battle.
Easy.
Strachey the trailer to McKnight. So often that combination has resulted in 2 for Perry. Not this time, though, as Radigan grabs the rebound. Aaron Walter can't get in deep. This is Schnitker. 31 is Kavares. Schnitker on the pull-up. And McKnight, yet another rebound.
Well, a nice job. He couldn't control the rebound the first time, but he tipped it back to himself away from the defense and went back up and got it. Nice play.
Has great basketball instincts.
They got the lob. Well, he passed it up.
Down the lane.
This is Todd Winter. That's Strachey. McKnight. Rebound by Palin. Palin tries to go up in traffic and draws the foul. It's called on Aaron Walter. It'll be his second.
1-1.
Both starting guards now, 2 fouls apiece for St. Albert.
Look at Palin working in there from the baseline in. Good strong player, good position, and then draws the foul on Walter.
Mike Drazy back into the lineup for Perry. And leaving will be Frank Howell. And again, Prowl hampered by that ankle. And the free throw situation very definitely in favor of the Blue Jays.
Well, last that I looked, Perry had only committed 2 fouls. And that's still on the board.
A dozen now for Palin. Palin averaging 23.2. He's halfway there already. A lot of schools, especially Iowa Conference schools, are interested in John Palin for next season. I think it's easy to see why.
He's having a good tournament. 15 out of 29 from the field coming in tonight.
13 for Palin, and Perry's lead is 11. Their biggest lead has been 12. 3 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Aaron Walter against Todd Winter. That's Schnitker.
Easy.
45's Radigan.
Good pick that time.
Walter hits the open J, and he's got his second basket.
Well, you credit that basket really to Schnitker because he set a nice pick, freed him up.
Perry on the attack with a lead of 9, and they try to get the ball from Palin to McKnight, but off his fingertips, pass thrown a little bit too hard, and so St. Albert gets the ball back.
Palin's better choice that time might have been, as before he came to the penetration was a dribble and then just a soft lob pass up for McKnight.
Those team fouls indicate Perry's got a few to give down the stretch if they need to. 2:27 left in the first half.
Perry's man-for-man defense been pretty tough. Ooh.
Hannafin back in, tries to muscle in, and draws the foul against John Palin. Palin with his first foul, and Chris Hannafin will go to the line. He is a 6'4" senior who's been hampered by a sprained ankle.
Watch this. Palin's got good position. I thought really Hannafin, when he went for that shot, it should have been an offensive foul. But you see how good the officials are. When they showed it right there, he moved away and jumped away from the defensive man.
Gary Christensen and Craig Snyder, the officials working the ball game.
Okay, straight up, gentlemen.
So Hannafin still looking for his first point. Hannafin thus far 11 points in 2 games in the tournament, but again, he's been hampered by that ankle, re-injured it in practice yesterday. Laying it in is Palin, and that is 15 first half points for John Palin.
And Perry has at least 8 points off transition baskets.
He got down the floor in a hurry for a big guy. Here's Walter getting the ball into Radigan, and Radigan with a nice move in the lane.
Shows some good athletic ability, a football player.
Winter having some trouble in the backcourt, but finding it again and then throwing it away, and Hannafin comes up with a steal.
Should have been a bounce pass.
Here is Walter. And a foul on the rebound scrap. And it's called on Todd Winter. It will be his second and just the fourth whistled against the Blue Jays.
Next time we get the steal Winter right here. Straight pass. If he bounces, that hand will not ever go down to the floor. Good interception right there. He stepped in by Hannafin.
On the common foul, St. Albert will play it, but first a change in the Perry lineup. As coming in will be Matt Fagan, a 6-foot senior. Fagan averaging a little bit less than a point a ball game. But he's an excellent defensive player, and so he may be in specifically for defense in the waning 1:37 of the quarter. And over the defense, Nate Schnitker hits a three, and that is the third three-point goal the Falcons have hit, and they have a chance to cut the gap even further. Schnitker trying for two in a row, and with the rebound, John Palin.
Should have probably brought that ball back out, set up, and got a good shot, taking advantage of the good pressure that they had, and gaining an opportunity off the steal.
Perry's 12-point lead is now 6. They've had trouble holding on to leads, had a big lead over Washington. They led by 12 points with 5:43 to play, only to see Washington make quite a rally at the finish. In fact, after the ball game, Coach Tom Schleicher came into the interview room and he said, boy, I feel like we lost this one. Walter, nice pass up front to Kavares. And the foul called on Strachey. It is his first foul. It is the 5th called on the Blue Jays.
St. Albert coming out. Good bounce pass. See it get through. He go up. Strachey coming from behind. Grabs him right across the wrist.
And Chad Kavares goes to the line. An excellent student. His grade point average 3.6. And not a bad basketball player either, as those statistics would indicate.
He had 3 3-point goals last night. He's had 2 tonight.
And there's his dad, Mike Kavares, who I'm sure is not nearly as calm as he looks right now.
One only. One.
Chad also a baseball player and a golfer. And free throws now are really hurting St. Albert. They are now 0 of 4 from the free throw line. So it took a while for them to get their free throw opportunities, Gary, and now they're not taking advantage of them.
We're a 65% free throw shooting team.
And we approach the final half minute of the first half.
Easy.
This is Fagan. And the ball goes back to Strachey, and he will go to the line. With the foul, Kavares, his first.
Now, 1-1.
And while St. Albert has hit none of their 4 free throw opportunities, Perry's taken advantage of theirs. They are 8 of 11 at the stripe. As Strachey goes there, and he has been to the line on 5 different, make it 6 times himself, and has hit 5 of them. Coming up with the rebound, Brian Radigan. So St. Albert has a chance to get right back in this one, down by as many as a dozen, could make it a 4-point game at the end of the half.
I think this is smart, going for the last shot after trailing by 12. They have a chance of taking the last shot, cut it down to 4. Maybe 3.
They're going to have to hurry now. As Aaron Walter on the baseline, Radigan with the rebound. And at the horn, it will be Perry going to the locker room with a 6-point lead. That's the end of the first half with the score. Perry 35 and St. Albert 29. And we'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment.
At Grease Monkey, we believe you should be pampered when your car is serviced. In addition to our reliable work, you'll be treated to hot coffee and a clean, comfortable waiting area. In 10 minutes, we'll change the oil filter, lubricate the chassis, check the air filter, check the wiper blades, check and fill brake fluid, power steering fluid, transmission fluid, differential fluid, battery fluid, windshield washer fluid, tire pressure, and we'll vacuum your carpets and wash the windows. Easy in, easy out. That's what Grease Monkey's all about. 2700 West Broadway, no appointment necessary.
Welcome to Runza. May I take your order?
Yeah, I'll have a cheeseburger with tomato, mustard, and pickles. No, wait. Make that a deluxe burger with onions.
Here you go. Thanks.
Come on and get a taste. Come on and get a taste. Come on and get a taste of Runza.
It was 12 points, and at the half, they've had their lead cut back to 6 by St. Albert, as it's the battle for the 2A championship of the boys state basketball tournament. Thus far, Perry has 15 points from John Palin inside and 10 from Brad Strachey outside. Now let's go down to the floor and Mo Kelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we could have your attention, we would like to honor a few folks here at halftime that have helped make our interscholastic program in Iowa so successful in many different ways. To help with these presentations, 2 members of the Board of Control of the Iowa Boys High School Athletic Association. Roland Dyer is the Vice Principal and Athletic Director and current Chairman of the board. He is from Atlantic High School. And next to Mr. Dyer is Robert Schmidt, the Superintendent of Schools at Jefferson. You know, the athletes themselves and the coaches perhaps get most of the credit for athletic success in the various schools and communities. But really, there are some unsung heroes that help make the entire activities program successful in that school. Many are principals, many are superintendents, many are athletic directors. They all play a hand in the success of the various activities programs. And we have some people in that category this evening that we'd like to honor. We're going to be presenting them with our Administrator Awards. These people have all dedicated their lives to education and have played an important part in the success of activities programs in their schools. And we'd like to introduce them to you at this time. First of all, from Carroll Kemper High School, the Activities Director and Intramural Director at Kemper High, meet Dan Balk, accompanied by his wife, Carol. Next is the Superintendent at Tipton High School, William Diedrichson, accompanied by his wife, Margaret. Western part of the state, the Superintendent at Sloan Westwood, Dwayne Hoffman, accompanied by his wife, Mary Jo. The next gentleman is going to be retiring at the end of this year after many years of service at Nashua High School, Lloyd Cobe, accompanied by his wife, Irene. The longtime superintendent at Remsen Union High School, Dwayne Bob Manili, accompanied by his wife, Muriel. Longtime superintendent at Grundy Center High School, Dale Mulford, and his wife, Mardell. The principal, Southeast Polk High School, meet Bob Norris, accompanied by his wife, Gwen. Now retired, but the longtime superintendent at Belmont, Al Olson, accompanied by his wife, Betty. From Audubon High School, the superintendent, R.P. Dick Paulson, accompanied by his wife, Beverly. The longtime athletic director at Waterloo East High, Murray Weir, could not be with us this evening, but standing in for Murray is Dr. Richard Wells of Waterloo. The next group that we'd like to honor, our schools nominate individuals from the medical profession who have served their athletes so well, and there are a number of them throughout the state. I'm sure in your home community you have one of those members of the medical profession that has done such a great job for a long period of time supporting those athletic teams and taking care, usually not only of the home athletes, but perhaps also doctoring to some of the visiting athletes who may be injured during the competition. So we have 4 winners of our Team Doctor Award that we'd like to honor this evening. Let's begin with, from Corydon, Dr. Keith Garber, accompanied by his wife, Ann. Dr. G.J. Nemmers of Washington was unable to be with us this evening, but we would like to mention him and honor him as well. Dr. Nemmers from Washington. Then next up, we have Dr. James Slattery of Pocahontas, accompanied by his wife, Mary Ann. Finally, the longtime team doctor of the Waterloo East High teams, Dr. Richard Wells of Waterloo, accompanied by his wife, Kathleen. The Iowa Basketball Coaches Association has a very strong organization. They do several things through the year to promote the sport of high school basketball and to honor some of their members who have achieved great feats. To help us with the presentation of the various awards given by the Basketball Coaches Association, we have to my far right Don Showalter, the current president of that group, the basketball coach at Mid-Prairie Wellman, and next to Don is Don Logan of Van Horn Benton Community, who is the executive secretary of the basketball coaches group. And the first thing that we'd like to do on their behalf this evening is honor some coaches who have been at it long enough and successfully enough to achieve a great number of high school basketball victories. Let's begin with those that have won 300 games or more now. First of all, from Dubuque Senior, Wayne Shandley, accompanied by his wife, Judy. Another high school coach who has now won over 300 games, Bill Fleming from Maquoketa, accompanied by his wife, Denise. And another 300-game winner appeared in our state tournament this year, Bert Hansen from Indianola, accompanied by his wife, Nancy. And another 300-game winner from Harlan, Dave Lansing, accompanied by his wife, Diane. Moving it up a notch now, 400 victories or more. Here's John Westfall of Humboldt, accompanied by his wife, Charmaine. And another notch up the ladder, over 500 victories, and I believe that Jerry is the active coach with the most wins at the present time. Jerry Eimers from Dyke, accompanied by his wife, Darlin. Another activity of the Basketball Coaches Association, they sponsor all-star games every year, the proceeds of which are given to a charitable cause. And this year, as you can see, there will be a check in the amount of $5,600 presented to the Ronald McDonald House, and to accept this check here from Iowa City is Kevin O'Brien. And now, one of the highlights, I think, of our tournament each year, and that's the academic all-state team. This is the cream of the crop, ladies and gentlemen. 127 young men were nominated for the academic all-state team this year. And the coaches tell me that this is the greatest bunch ever. Let me just give you a couple statistics to show you why. A scoring average of all of these young men of 16.8 points per game. A grade point average of all of these young men, 3.86. An ACT average of over 29 points. So, as I said, this is the cream of the crop, the Basketball Coaches Association Academic All-State Team. Let's begin with Alan Arndt of Cal Latimer. Jeff Collette of Ottumwa. Ian Crozier of Clarion. Matt Hero of Dubuque-Wahlert. Darren Deal, Eldora, New Providence. Brian Dreesen, Western Christian Hall. Mike Delaney, West Des Moines Valley. Phil Freiberg of Sergeant Bluff, Luton. Jeremy Gummer of Murray. Joe Glotfelty of Ames. Steve Howland, Davenport West. Scott Hull of Knoxville. Matt Hearn, Waterloo West. Grant Selby of Corydon, Wayne. Troy Skinner, Palmer. Matt Stone of Wapello. Merrill Schwartz of Gruber, Lincoln Central. Douglas Timmer, Comanche. Dennis Vanami of Mallard. And Paul Wilkin of Palmer. This is what it's all about right here. How about a great hand for these young men? Thank you.
We'll be back at Veterans Memorial Auditorium in a moment after this pause for station identification.
If you're looking for genuine job satisfaction in the wellness field, consider Dr. Welby's College of Massage Therapy. Learn the techniques of Swedish massage, shiatsu, and athletic massage. In just 6 months, you can become licensed as a massage therapist. Clinical internships are available, and students are placed in work settings including fitness centers, retirement homes, and beauty salons. Few professions offer so much opportunity for employment and positive feedback. Call Dr. Welby's College of Massage Therapy today.
Sears can help you enjoy your outdoors more. Right now, save 30% on Sears fencing, like Armadillo Chain Link. Strong and long-lasting Sears Armadillo fencing stays bright and shiny new looking for years. Or add the elegant beauty of a Sears installed wood fence. Either way, you save a big 30%. So build your fence for beauty or build it for security. But build it now and save at Sears.
Most of us need to borrow a little money now and then. With the cost of food, clothing, utilities, and other expenses, it's sometimes difficult to build your own nest egg for a new car, a vacation, or a major home improvement. That's why we're the first place many people think of. We have very low-cost money right now for just such purposes. Come on in and discuss qualifications with one of our courteous personal bankers. we'd like to help you at First National Bank.
No matter what you drive, family car, truck, custom car, street rod, or race car, see Mad Hatter Mufflers first for the best prices in Council Bluffs. Locally owned and operated for almost 10 years, Mad Hatter Muffler uses only the best parts: Gorlick exhaust, Monroe shocks, and Ray Bestis brakes. Mad Hatter Mufflers is your expert in stock mufflers, turbo mufflers, glass backs, header mufflers, custom exhaust, custom bending, and dual exhaust conversion. Ask us about our lifetime guarantees. Mad Hatter Mufflers, 3338 West Broadway.
Washington Demons finished third in 2A with a 70-67 victory over Cedar Rapids LaSalle. Mark Burst scored 37 points to lead the Demons to that third-place finish. Here in the 2A championship game, it's Perry over St. Albert by a score of 35-29. Glad to be working tonight with John Campbell from KCRG-TV in Cedar Rapids. Let's go to John right now.
Thank you very much, Larry. We're down here at courtside, and we're going to talk to one of the young men that you just saw named an academic all-state basketball player. And our guest tonight is Joe Glotfeldy, a senior from Ames High School. He's not only a very good basketball player, he was a starting quarterback on the football team, he's on the baseball team, and he has done just about everything up at Ames High School. He even played golf for a couple of years. How do you mix, or how do you get the academics and the athletics in and do it so well in both areas?
Well, sometimes it's pretty tough. A couple of times I've been up till 1 or 2 at night studying for an exam or finishing a paper after a game. That was especially true like during the football playoffs. We played in Sioux City East, and it was like a 2-hour trip back, so I got back about midnight. But sometimes it gets pretty rough.
Did you ever have to go in and tell a coach you couldn't practice because you had to take a test, or tell a teacher you couldn't take a test because you had to practice?
Oh, I don't think they go well with that. I don't know. I've never done it.
What would you say has been the biggest influence on your life so far as, being good in academics and being good in athletics?
Probably my family. My dad, I remember him out there shagging balls for me when I was almost too little to get it to the rim. And my sister was a 3-year starter at varsity basketball. And my brother played 4 sports for 3 years and is now playing football at Iowa State. So they really influenced me a lot.
You missed being here at the state tournament by 1 game. You lost in the sub-state. Tough sitting here tonight?
It is. It really is. Arnie Zedeker, the coach for Kennedy, coached at Ames High when I was 6 or 7. I used to go out and watch him. He had a state championship team. I watched him the whole year. I thought it'd be nice if I could get here, but it didn't work out. So.
And your plans next year?
I'm planning to attend the University of Iowa. Pre-med as long as I can take it, I guess. It'd be kind of tough. But, so University of Iowa.
Quick answer here, Joe. You played for Dodge earlier this year.